Hey yogis, welcome back to Yoga with Brittany. My name is Brittany and today we're doing a leg burner. So this will be a vinyasa flow style class with emphasis on building leg strength and really just burning the legs out. I'm just going to be using a block right in the beginning of class for legs up the wall. You do not have to use a block or anything at all, but I'm going to start that way. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and meet me on your back on your mat. If you have your block, let's go ahead and get it placed underneath the tailbone, lifting the hips, slide the block under. If you don't, like I said, it is no big deal. We'll move forward without it. All we're doing here is taking our legs up to the ceiling, and it might take some adjustments to where you are comfortable. Take the legs up to the ceiling, and if you'd prefer to take legs up the wall, you can do that as well. We're going to start here by flexing and pointing through the feet. Just finding some movement in the legs that feels good. Feels like it's calling to you. Bending, straightening, kind of getting any wiggles out before we settle in here. Nice. Take what you need and then begin to close down the eyes. So starting with our legs up, you'll notice most likely the legs will start to get warmer, starting with the feet. Kind of boosting some blood flow to the legs as we settle in to your practice. Where can you soften? Softening through the face and the jawline, soften the shoulders and the chest. And then we're going to take a couple rounds of breath together, breathing in through the nose, fill up the ribs, fill up the belly, send the breath all the way to the pelvic bowl. And then slow, steady exhale. Do that again, in through the nose. Slow, steady exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Full breath in. Full breath out. Taking your awareness to your legs, just knowing how they're feeling in this moment. Like I said, they may be getting a little warmer, maybe a little tingly. If you'd like to move the feet a little bit, do so. And if you have your hips on a block, go ahead and bend at the knees, plant the feet, lift the hips, remove your block. That is the last time I'll be using it for this practice. So like I said, if you don't have one, we will meet with both knees into your chest. Squeeze them in, kind of rock side to side. Oftentimes we're massaging our low back like this, but I really want you to kind of pay attention to how the hips feel in the hip sockets today. Very nice. Squeeze the knees in, take your nose up to your knees, give yourself some length in the back body. And then take your left leg long, keep your right knee hugged into your chest. You can press your left calf into the mat, pulling the left toes back towards the face, and then pull the right knee in and begin to roll through that right ankle one direction. Here we go. And then the other, playing around with flexing and spreading the toes as well. Begin to draw the right knee open towards the right shoulder. I have my left hand kind of pressing down on that left thigh just to remind that left leg to stay nice and active. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then guide the right knee back to center. Kick the heel towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers under the thigh or the calf and draw those right toes towards the face. Nice. I can feel my shoulders are kind of rounding up off the mat, so I'm going to walk my hands back down to my thigh. Like I said, I'm pretty tight in the legs today, so this is already quite a bit. Nice. Now take your hands to the mat, palms face down. Keep that right leg lifted. And then begin to very slowly lower the right leg. See if you can kind of control the lower with the core and the leg muscles, taking it nice and slow. You should feel everything kind of firing up right away. And then we're going to switch it out. Bring your left knee into your chest, right calf presses into the mat, squeeze it in. Back of the neck is long, so if your chin is poking up towards the ceiling, just try to lengthen the back of the neck a little bit. Roll through that left ankle one direction, fanning open the toes, curling the toes, and then switching directions. Very nice. Draw the left knee open towards the left shoulder. Keep your right thigh and calf pressing into the mat. And then hug the left knee back to center. Extend the heel towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh or the calf. If you have the connection between your fingers and your toes and that feels okay without really rounding off the mat, you're welcome to do that as well. I'm going to stay behind my thigh today because my legs are like concrete. All right, take your hands to the mat, palms face down, fire up the low belly, and then begin to lower that left leg. Nice and slow, very nice. Now bring the feet planted on the mat, bringing the heels towards the glutes. We're just gonna do a couple rounds of bridge. We're not gonna, think too much about it. So just spike into the heels and roll the hips up. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, roll them up. Exhale, lower. Nice. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, lift them up. And exhale, lower. Bring the knees into your chest and then rock back and forth the length of your spine until we meet in a tabletop position. I know lots of times people like to rock several times, getting some momentum and then kind of landing in this tabletop. However, for me, that's kind of tough on my spine. So you just get into your tabletop however you like. Inhale, open up to cow. Drop the belly, lift the head, neck, and chest, rolling the sit bones towards the ceiling, and then exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the head and neck. Inhale, open up. I have my toes tucked just because that's what feels good today, so you're welcome to do that as well. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, open up, cow. Exhale to cat. Last one, inhale, open up. And exhale, cat. Nice, come into your tabletop. Take your left leg long behind you. Point the left toes towards the ground and then slowly lower the ball of the left foot and press back into the left heel. So we're coming into a little bit of a calf stretch. If it feels better to rock in and out of this, especially if you don't have socks on, you might have some grip and it will open up the back of that leg. Nice, rocking forward so that the shoulders are stacked over the wrist once more. Lift your left leg. And then take your gaze up. We're going to come into a little bit of a back bend. So keep the eye of the left hip still pointing down. Pinky toe is still dialed down. Begin to lift from the inner thigh. Take your gaze up. A little bit of a back bend and then pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very nice. Level off the hips. Take the arch out of the back. And then take your left foot out to the left side. Your toes are pointing towards the front of the room or the short front edge of the mat. Inhale, 1, lift, 2, 3, 4, just one more, 5, and then plant the left foot, toes still pointing forward. Walk the hands up to the hips. Squeeze the glutes, just to gently press the hips forward and then reach the arms high. Inhale, and then cartwheel the hands down so the right hand lands. Peel the left arm open and then hover this left leg any amount. We're going to lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now bend into the knee, draw the left heel to the glute, squeeze that in, and then reach the hand back and see if there's a connection. If not, all we're doing here is just taking a little bit of a back bend. So kick into the left hand, pull the left shoulder open, back bend, And then let it land, tabletop position. Very nice. Inhale, open up. Exhale, cat pose. Nice neutral table. Kick your right foot behind you, level off the hips, flexing the toes so the toes point down, and then slowly lower the right foot, press back into the heel, taking your calf stretch. Again, you can stay still here, or you can rock back and forth, in and out. Depending on how your calves feel today is what's going to determine what you decide to do. Very nice. Now lift the right leg, shoulders over wrists, coming into this three-pointed table. And then begin to find that back bend. So dropping the belly just a tad, lifting the gaze, lifting the heel, and we're going to pulse for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very nice. Straighten out the body. Dial the right leg all the way out to the right side. If you need to bend your knee, you're welcome to. And lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower the right foot, toes pointing forward. Walk the hands to the hips. Squeezing the glutes very gently just to press the hips slightly forward. Inhale the arms high. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Left hand plants, right arm peels open. And then let that right leg hover. And lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nice. Squeeze the heel to the glute. Reach back and see if you can grab the outside of that right foot. Stay here or begin to kick into the right hand and open up the front line of the body. Keeping the low belly and the ribs pulled in, squeeze, and then release it all, land in your tabletop. Inhale, open up, resetting the table, find cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Very nice. One more. Inhale, open up. And exhale, cat pose. Keep the toes tucked under, send the hips up and back, finding downward facing dog, just hanging out here for a moment, once again, to stretch into the legs and notice how they're feeling today. Pedaling out the feet by shifting weight from one foot to the other, lowering the left heel and then the right. Nice, and then find some stillness in this downward facing dog, pressing the hips up and back, as if you could roll the sit bones open, spiral the inner thighs out and back behind you, so active in the legs. See if you can melt the heels a little more towards the mat, and if they make a connection, can you lift all 10 toes? Feel the back of the legs wake up, breathe in, and breathe out. Very nice. Inhale, and let it go. Inhale comes high onto the toes, and then look in between the hands. Keep the hips lifted. We're going to tippy toe to the top of the mat, keeping the legs straight just simply for that extra stretch. We're really going to strengthen and lengthen these legs today. When you get to the top, take a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold, grab opposite elbows. Just a little ritual of mine, coming into a ragdoll, rolling the sit bones towards the ceiling, drawing that belly button and ribs in. Tuck your chin into your chest and then slowly roll up the spine. Head and neck will be the last thing to come up. Roll the shoulders down the back, open up the front line of the body, and let's start to activate the legs a little more by spreading into the toes, root the feet into the mat. Slight lift of the kneecaps, very slight tuck of the pelvis also. Melting the shoulders away from the ears. Here we are in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale to reach the arms high, and this time we're going to lift up onto our tippy toes. So put on some heels, and then take your arms out into a T. This is going to be really wobbly, really shaky, and it is all good. Just kind of firing up the calves as we dip our heart forward. Folding on our tippy toes, taking it nice and slow. Let it wiggle, let it shake. And then take your hands to the mat, forward fold. Take a halfway lift and then plant your palms. Take your left leg up into a standing L. So the hips are square. If you need to take your right hand to your low back to make sure that left hip isn't peeling open, keep the hips level by dialing the left toe down. Breathe in. And then on the exhale, very slowly, very gently land, crescent lunge, sweep the arms high. Take your hands to your hips, and then we're gonna do a little dips here in our crescent lunge. So this is a leg burner, so we're really gonna burn out one side and then move on to the next. So we're gonna start to bend into this left knee, and then just take a slight scoop of the tailbone. You'll feel a bit of an opening in that left hip flexor. Breathe in. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Lengthen. Bend. Good. Lengthen. Bend. Lengthen. Bend. Lengthen. Bend. You've got 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Extend both legs. And then reach the arms out in front of you. Arrowhead lunge. So belly comes parallel to the thigh. Right knee is bent. Left leg is long. Full breath in. Feel that right glute fire up, connecting the right hamstring to the glute. Squeeze there and then peel it open. Warrior 2. Very nice. Reach both arms high. Turn the toes out, coming into star pose. And then take your hands to your hips, bending into both knees, coming into goddess squat. Right away, pulling the belly button and ribs in, sinking the hips nice and low. Just get really warm in the hips here. If you want to wiggle left and right, wiggle it out. And then we're going to start to turn this right knee towards the middle of the mat, coming into a 90-90. So we got 1. Come back to goddess, and then to the right. 2. Keep it going. 3. And 4. 5. And 6. We just got 4 more. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Very nice. Come back to goddess. Tiny pulses. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Plant the hands. Walk to the back edge of the mat. Framing your left foot, turn all your toes to the back edge. Start shifting your weight into the left foot. And then curl right knee to nose. Doming through the shoulders. Think cat-like with the back. Spiking through the standing leg. Shoot your right heel towards the ceiling. Standing splits. Lifting from the inner thigh, activate into that right foot. Breathe in, and then curtsy squat. Taking your right knee to the outer left calf. Take it long. Curtsy squat. 2. You've just got 5. Take it long. Curtsy squat. 3. Curtsy squat. 4. Last one. Take it long. Curtsy squat. 5. Take it long. Sorry, curl it in. Knee to nose. I guess you had 6. Squeeze your right knee into your chest. Stand on that left leg, coming into stork pose. Reach the arms overhead. Breathe in. Hug your right knee into your chest as much as you can without the hands. And then take your hands and your palms out in front of you. Breathe in here, and then start to kick your right heel forward. Standing leg raise. We're not using the hands. We're just going to pulse for 5, for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Keep it lifted, lift, lift, lift. And then 2 feet to the mat. Sink the hips low, chair pose. Inhale. Sweep the arms back behind you. Airplane. Airplane arms. Lifting the heels, coming to this power chair. Very nice. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep the heels lifted. Take the arms out in front of you. And then lower hips to heels. Keeping the bend in the knees going in front of you like you're sliding down an imaginary wall. Very nice. Once you get all the way down, hips to heels, see if you can parallel the knees even more. Again, let it be wiggly, let it be shaky. It's all good. Hover your hips now off the heels, just like an inch or 2, and then bounce. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just as slowly as you bend down, come all the way up, hitting that power chair. And then chair pose, lower the heels to the mat. Nice. Standing on your right leg now, bring your left knee into your chest, stork pose. Take your hands to your hips, and then we're going to head into a half moon, but we're going to get in there a little bit differently than we usually do. So swim this left knee open to the left knee is still bent, and then start to rotate, opening up the hips, swimming that left heel back, and then dropping the right hand. Seeing that the left hip is stacked on top of the left or the right. If you need to bend, extend, and reposition, you can do so. Peel the left arm open, half moon. Very nice. Active in that left leg, shooting through the heel, active through all the fingertips. Breathe in, and then bend into the right knee. Warrior 2. Very nice. Take your hands to your hips. Turn your toes in and heels out, coming into prasarita or wide-legged fold. So if you need to take up a little bit more space, do so. Tee out the arms, bump up the chest, and then forward fold. Hands can come to the mat, or they can walk behind you, or they can walk to the outer ankles. Even if you bend a little bit into the knees, just get a nice, deep fold. Oh, that's a lot of work all at once, wasn't it? Take a halfway lift, and then walk your hands to frame the left foot, turning all your toes to the front short edge of your mat. Take your left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, shifts the body forward. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and clear it out. Very nice. Come high onto the toes. Bend into the knees. Walk or hop to the top. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Bend into the knees. Sweep the arms high, extended mountain, and then bring the hands to heart center. Just a little reset before we take it to the other side. Rolling the shoulders down and back. Palms are at heart center. Rooting into the feet. Very nice. And then reach your arms high. Put on the heels, lifting up the heels onto the balls of the feet. Tee out the arms and begin to fold. Take it nice and slow. Keep the belly button and ribs in. Keep the legs fired up. Again, just let it be wobbly. Does not have to be pretty. And then hands and feet to the mat, forward fold. Very nice. Take a halfway lift. And then plant the hands, right leg lift, standing L. And then we're gonna reach, toes back. Crescent lunge. Nice, take your hands to your hips. Breathe in. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. And bend. Extend. And bend. Extend. And bend. Keep that right knee hovering. Extend. And bend. Extend. And bend. Very nice. Extend. And bend. Two more. Extend. And bend. Last one, extend and bend. Straighten into the back leg, reach the arms forward, arrowhead lunge. Belly is parallel to that left thigh. Right leg is active, full breath in. And then open on up, warrior two. Very nice, reach the arms high, toes out, heels in, hands to hips. Goddess squat. Take the hands to the tops of the thighs. See if we can squat just a little bit lower, taking up a little bit more space. Tuck the tailbone under just a tad, especially if you're coming into a very large sway back. I guess it's not what I'm trying to say, but you get what I'm saying. Hands to your hips. We've got 10 of them. Breathe in. To the left. 1. To the right. 2. 3. To the right. 4. To the left. 5. To the right. 6. To the left. 7. To the right. 8. To the left, 9, to the right, 10. Actually, we're gonna stay on the right hand side. So take your hands down, frame your right toes, pointing the back edge of your mat, shifting all the way into your right foot. Kick the left heel towards the ceiling, full breath in. Exhale, curtsy squat, 1. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squat, 2. Inhale, extend. 3, 4, 5. You got it. Kick it long. And then curl left knee into your chest. Spiking into your right foot. Now come to stork. Arms overhead. Left thigh squeezes into the chest. Very nice. Take your palms out in front of you. And then extend into your left leg. And we're going to lift for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lift, lift, lift. And then let it land, chair pose. Sweep the arms high, sink the hips low. Breathe in. And then power chair. Sweep the arms behind you, lifting the heels, bending the knees in front of you. 1 breath in, lift those heels a little higher, and then reach the arms out parallel to the ground in front of you. Start to lower the hips. Let the legs be shaky. I know they're getting tired. And then we'll find those tiny pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slowly rise up. Woo. Power chair, sweep the arms behind you, inhale, and then lower heels to the mat, reach the arms high. Very nice. Coming to standing on your left leg, stork pose. Carrying your right thigh now into your chest, hands to your hips, and then open your right knee out to the side. Swim it back, extend into the legs, finding half moon. Drop the left hand, stack your right hip on top of your left. Lift that back leg a little higher. Peel your right open, breathe in, and then softly bend into the left knee. Warrior two, very nice. Straighten into both legs, hands to the hips, turn both toes in. Inhale, puff up the chest. And then exhale, forward fold. Take what you need here. Let this stretch and release feel so good after all of that work. Quick little leg burner. And I don't know about you, but my legs are burning. Rolling the sit bones towards the ceiling. Very nice. Take a halfway lift. And then walk your hands to the front short edge of the mat. Turn all your toes to the top. Right foot steps back. High plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Taking what you need here. Getting back to your breath if you've lost it. If you're a little winded, we're going to continue on with the feel-good stretches now. So planting into both palms, lift that left leg high, three-legged dog. Look to the outside of the left hand and step there. High lizard lunge to start, just to kind of get settled in with the hips. If you want to make some circles with the hips, wiggle them left and right. And then we're going to drop the right knee, untuck the toes, lift the chest, lift the gaze. You can stay here on your palms. If you want to come onto the forearms, you can do that as well. But I want the emphasis here to be on sinking the hips forward and through. Very nice. We're going to take this into a twist if you would like. If you're not so sure, follow along until you can't follow along anymore. I'm going to plant into my right palm. Reach my left arm high. So this right here feels really nice, especially on the spine. But to take it even further, I'm going to squeeze my right heel into my right glute. Using just the leg muscles here, I'm going to reach back and see if there's a connection. And if there is, I can either kick into this left hand and pull the chest open, corkscrew the heart towards the ceiling. That'll open a little bit more into the chest. Or I can pivot my grip to the top of that right foot and pull that left shoulder down, which really gets into the quad. Trying to square my body to the top edge of the mat. It's a little tight, but it's all good. Whatever kind of connection you have, release the foot, no flinging. Very nice. Tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, step it back, downward facing dog. Take one breath in and exhale. Taking it to the other side, right leg swings high. And then high lizard lunge, step it to the outside of the right hand. Hips are lifted. Take some circles with the hips, see where you can find and create some space, and then drop that left knee, untuck the toes, lift the gaze. Spread across the chest. You can even wiggle left and right here if you would like. And taking your twist to this side now, planting into the left palm. Let's peel that right arm open to start. And then squeeze the glute to bring the left heel to the glute and see if there is a connection. Taking whatever variation felt good to you the first time, so you can open through the chest or you can square the shoulders back towards the top edge of the mat. Left hip crease getting super heavy towards the mat. And then slowly release whatever grip you have, tucking the left toes, planting into the palms. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, very nice. Come high onto the toes, look in between the hands, and let's walk all the way through, both legs out long, in front of you. Release any flesh from under the sit bones. And then pull the belly button and ribs up and in. Reach the arms high, pull the toes towards the face. Round and fold over those legs. Ooh. Take a look at your toes. See if you can pull the heart closer to the toes and then roll the shoulders away from the ears and fold a little deeper. Or can you soften? Soaking in all that work that you just did. Slowly rolling up the spine. And then planting the hands behind you. Fingertips will point towards the heels, bending into the knees, planting the heels now. Press into the points of contact on the mat, lift the hips. Reverse table, let the gaze fall up and back, squeezing the glutes to open up the front line of the body just a bit more. Let the shoulders be a little cradle for the head. You got it. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale. See if you can find a little bit more of a lift. And then slowly lower the hips and make your way onto your back. Windshield wiper the legs left and right, taking it nice and slow. And then come back to center. Kick your left heel towards the ceiling. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Option 2, take your left hand and very gently press that left thigh away. Nothing crazy. Active into the left foot. You can stay right like this, or you can begin to draw that right thigh into your chest, grabbing under the thigh or over the shin. Keep an activation in that left foot. And whether you're using your hand or not, keep energetically pressing that left knee away from you. Very nice. And then keep the bind of the legs, but let the right foot land. Take your left arm out into a T and allow the feet to fall over to the right. Now, if you can fully plant the sole of the left foot onto the ground beside you, do so. So that left knee will be lifted still. I'm going to reach down with my right hand and grab a hold of my left ankle. And if you're feeling pretty good here, take your gaze off to the left. If this is really tight on those hips and you're just not a big fan, unwind the legs and take a traditional supine twist, just stacking the knees rather than binding the knees. Very slowly come on back to center. Unwind the legs. We're going to take it to the other side. Right heel kicks towards the ceiling, ankle crosses over the thigh. Option to just gently press the thigh away or draw the left thigh into your chest, interlacing the fingers anywhere where there's a connection. Now notice if your chin is pointing up towards the ceiling, see if you can tuck it in just a tad. And then keeping the bind of the legs, let the left foot plant and the legs fall over to the left. Sole of the right foot plants on the ground. Reaching down with my left hand now to grab a hold of that right ankle. Gaze off to the right. And just remembering that everything I say is a mere suggestion. If it doesn't feel good in your body, I don't want you to do it. Find something that does feel good. And then bringing the knees back to center, unwinding the legs, bringing both knees into your chest, gently rocking left and right, massaging the low back. And then squeeze. Knees all the way up and in, nose to the knees, tiny, tiny ball. Reaching for the outer edges of the feet, you'll find a happy baby. Kicking the heels towards the ceiling, drawing the thigh bones down towards the mat. And then pulling the shoulders back onto the mat and the tailbone as well. If you've noticed that once you grab a hold of your feet, you're really rounding off the mat, walk the hands down to the calves or the thighs so that you can flatten the shoulders and the tailbone. Nice, bring the heels in to meet each other, coming into this bound butterfly. And slowly lowering the feet onto the mat, Supta Baddha Konasana. And from here, we're going to head into your final resting shape. If you have the time and space in your practice, I'd encourage you to stay here for about 10 minutes. I will be ending the video before that 10 minutes is up, but I encourage you to stay as long as you have time for today. Taking the legs out long. Taking either the hands down to the sides or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Getting grounded and beginning to tune in. Feeling the vibration in the legs. Maybe the heart rate has increased. Maybe your breath has warmed up, has moved to a different location in the body. See if you can extend the length of that breath and extend it all the way down into the belly. Getting full and then getting empty. Getting heavier onto your mat. Begin your Shavasana, and I will bring you out shortly. If you have time in your day to stay here for a bit longer, I encourage you to do so. Otherwise, I bow to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.